This is going to be a two-part video on how to remove wallpaper and how to remove the backing, the glue backing. Wallpaper has a design on the front and a glue backing on the back. And this is plaster. Plaster is much easier to work with than drywall or wallboard. I would not use a steamer, because if you use a steamer, you might need to, but if you use a steamer, especially on drywall, you could damage it. I would just use this. Use a putty knife. There are scrapers that are out there, and if they gouge your wall, then you're going to have to spend a lot of time doing patching. This is mostly all you need, unless they pile this thing on with tons of glue. But if they did, if they use lots of paste, that won't matter, because you'll end up separating the backing from the front, and then you'll have to deal with removing the backing. So you can see over here where I've already removed the wallpaper. All you do, and over here, this is the backing, that's why it's got that ugly look to it. You just take your putty knife, and it could be difficult, but you go and you find an area, and that's all you do. You go in there and you find an area, you break it, you peel it off, and it should be fairly easy to do. It's going to take some time. Let's try to move the camera up a little bit, and you just peel it. Sometimes you can get really good strips, other times you can't. Now you can see how the knife went in there all the way. So, but you want to go on an angle like this. You don't want to go like that. You don't want to damage your wall, because as I said, you're going to have a lot of patching. So I tore this piece, which means I can tear downward and I can tear upward. So now I'm going to tear upward. Let's try to get the camera over here so you can see what I'm going to do. I'm going to tear upward and try to get as much as I can. Got a nice big strip over here. And then I'm going to go downward and try to get as much as I can going down. But I'm going to be more careful now. I want to try to get a lot of this material. I'm going to try to go all the way down to the wall as far as I can. So let's get the camera. I want you to see this. Okay, I was hoping to go all the way down to the wall, but it didn't work, so I'm going to show you a little bit more of this, and then we'll go to removing the backing. You just have to move around until you can find an area that's going to let you get the knife in there, the putty knife. But you don't want to scrape, you don't want to damage your wall. I'll tell you, damaging this wall is going to take you more time to fix the wall than had you just left it alone. So I didn't really get much out of this one. If my video helps you, do a thumbs up, subscribe, like, share. But it's going to take you time, so don't try to rush this thing. It's never going to go fast. You got a nice long strip. Maybe I can get this all the way down to the floor. No. But we'll do a little bit more. We'll do one more piece. Try to get this all the way down to, oh, that's not going to get me to the floor. Maybe that will get me all the way across to the wall. Oh, that was a nice long piece. So that's how you remove the wallpaper. Odds are, unless they did a bad job, ooh, this is a nice big piece. Okay, let's try to take this one off. This is huge. That was a lot. Odds are, unless they did a really bad job of installing the paper, you are not going to get it all off in one piece. But this just takes time. Now let me show you the glue part, the backing part. Kind of hard to see, but this is where the backing is. This is the wall. And the thing is, after you remove this backing, the glue backing, the paste backing, you're still going to have a lot of residue. You're going to have powdery residue on the wall that you're going to have to wash off. With plaster, the plaster should hold up fairly well to the cleaning. You can use warm water for this. You can use, some people say that they use laundry soap or hand soap, like Dawn. I'm going to be using a spray bottle of Windex because it's got a really fine mist, and you really want to just get moisture on here. If you don't have a spray bottle, you can take a sponge, you can put it on here. You don't want to run the water all the way down and damage the walls. You just want to mop it around, tap it around, and get the area wet. Let it sit for 5 to 15 minutes. The longer it sits, the easier the paper will come off, but if you're on wallboard, drywall, you could start to weaken the drywall, and you could damage it to the point where you have to replace it. So here's the glue piece over here. It's stuck on, it's not going to come off. You can see it's not going to come off unless you apply something. I've got the Windex, we got the nice fine spray over here. Let's just, we'll cover, you just want to cover a small area. And let it sit on there. And then afterwards, you might want to use some plastic protective stuff on your floor, on the wall below, to save it and from damage. Okay, so that's enough. And I could have easily done the same thing. Some people will use a steamer, which I don't like because you could cause a lot of damage. And I think you can see, maybe, I don't know how good the lighting is in here. There's moisture all the way to the molding over there. So we'll leave it on, what are we at, 10:47? I'll come back in about 5 minutes just to show you what it does in 5 minutes, and then we'll keep it on for 10 minutes. All I'm going to use is the putty knife. There are scrapers out there that say, there's an orange scraper, there are other scrapers out there, they say they're really good. A lot of the comments, they love it. A lot of people say it damaged their wall and it caused them nothing but trouble. So I'll be back. Hopefully the video helps you out. You know what to do. Thank you. We are at about 8 minutes with this stuff on, so let's just see what happens with the glue sheet. Look at that. Comes right off. Now it might not come off all the time like this, but you can see it doesn't want to stay on the wall. It's just coming right off. It peels right off. Very easy to do. And what I would suggest is that you wear disposable rubber gloves, latex gloves. See how easy this is coming off? I don't even know if you can see it now. Let me turn the camera down a little bit. Look at this. I don't have a camera person helping me, so it's just coming right off. All the way to the wall. And if you need to, you can use the knife to help you. But in this case, I'm just showing you, you don't even need to use the knife. The thing is, okay, it's stopped over there. It's stopped down over here because I didn't spray it all the way down, and it's a little sticky. It's a little sticky. I'm going to show you what it looks like using the knife. This is where I sprayed it. I didn't spray it over here, I sprayed it over here. So down in at the molding, it didn't want to come off anymore. I'm going to do a nice angle, and if it doesn't come off, that means you don't have enough liquid, and don't keep trying. Go to another area. You can see over here, this saturated, it's soaked in. But I'm going to keep my putty knife at a nice angle so that I don't damage the wall. See how I'm working little areas at a time? It might be a little easier if you have a thicker, not a thicker, a wider, it didn't saturate over here, a wider putty knife. Over here you can see how it's saturated. So let's just go straight across now, and we'll pull this big piece off, nice big piece. And the thing is that after all of this is done, you're still going to have to go back and clean all of this glue, this residue, which is over here. I'm going to use the knife now. See how we have some glue over here, paste over here, and it doesn't look that bad. Now I'm going to take the knife, a very slight angle, and I'm going to go like this, and see how that paste is coming off right now. A lot easier to do, as I said, on plaster, because it won't soak in. as much and you won't damage it. So I just took off all that extra paste, but I'm still gonna have to go back here with a sponge. I would recommend a paper towel. It's easier to just clean and throw away. Oh, fell on the floor. I would go here with a sponge and start removing. Maybe you want to buy some wallpaper paste remover, but you're still gonna have to remove all of this. You don't want to keep this soaking on all day because you will definitely damage your wall. And as I said, if it didn't soak in all the way, there are going to be areas like this where it just doesn't want to come off. So you just ignore those and you go on to the areas that are saturated, that it does want to come off, and then later you'll go back and finish off the section. So I sprayed a little bit higher off. This is one of those areas that doesn't want to come off over here, and I'm just going to leave that alone. I'm going to move the camera up just a little bit now and show you. I sprayed, I think, all the way up to, let's see, we're over here. I sprayed a little higher up. So let's see if I can finish this off in the video. There we go. It's a little bit wet. This is going all the way up to the area where I sprayed. Some of it's coming off, some of it isn't. And that's how you remove the wallpaper glue section, and that's how you remove the wallpaper. Look at the size of this piece. And I know if I saturated it even better, that this would all just peel off without a problem, but I just wanted to do this for the video. This was 10 minutes, maybe 5 to 15 minutes of saturating. Work a small area at a time. And, all right, come on. And you'll be able to remove your wallpaper. It is gonna take you time. You're gonna have to do unless the glue piece comes off with the decoration, you're gonna have to do first the wallpaper, then you're gonna have to do the glue sheet, and then you're gonna have to go with a sponge or paper towel, and you're gonna have to, whatever chemical you're gonna use, you could use hot water. Hot water would work on this instead of Windex. You do warm water, you just need something to soak in. And it's gonna take you time, but you can do it, or you can hire a painter. If you don't have the patience, or if you don't have if you don't think you have the skill, don't damage your wall. Hire somebody and pay them a few $1,000s and let them do the job for you. Thanks for watching my video. Good luck.